I'm starting the webinar now. Welcome, welcome, Travel Week readers. I see all of you coming into the webinar now. We are so happy to have you here. Thanks for being with us today. I am really excited to share the presenter that we have today. We've got Paul Hawley, who is the Global Group Marketing Manager for Collette, and he has an amazing presentation planned for you all. And so I will not take too much of his time, but I would like to share first and foremost that we also have an excellent prize attached to today's webinar, and that is a $500 Collette travel voucher. So for those travel agents who are here with us today, when you stay through to the very end of the webinar, you are going to be eligible for that prize. Amazing. Paul is also going to share more about another incentive that Collette has going for our travel consultants right now, and that is $1,000 bonus commission, and he's going to be sharing some more details through his presentation about how you can earn that. A little bit of housekeeping as always. If you have any questions during the course of the webinar, please feel free to pop those into the Q&A box you see at the bottom of your screen. I will be back on at the end of the webinar to ask any questions that you have for Paul on your behalf. So please don't be shy. Use this time to ask him your questions about booking with Collette. And I think that is it for now. So without further ado, I am really excited to pass you on to Paul. Hi, Paul. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'll see you all at the end of the show. Paul, thanks again. Take it away.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Welcome, travel advisors. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm excited to present Collette Groups. It's something that we haven't talked much about to the travel advisors, and we really want to keep you updated on what's new with groups and how to be successful, most of all. Who wants to make $40,000 commission on one sale? I think all of your hands are probably up right now. Who doesn't, right? So I'm going to go into a little bit of details of how Collette works, but also how you can be successful in group travel and make those $40,000 commissions. So a little bit about myself. I'm going a little fast there. I've been in group travel for 13 years now. I started with a faith-based company, which faith-based travel is 95% groups across the board. So I did that for a little over 10 years, and then been with Collette for the last 2 years, heading up the groups department for marketing. So a lot of experience there that I hope to share with you today. First, I'm going to show you our season 106 video. We just kicked off the season 106 last month and have an exciting bunch of new products. So here we go.
Welcome to season 106.
This one's for you, traveler.
It's time to be curious about culture.
It's time to go and worry about nothing.
Our destination experts plan and design these tours. Local experts guide them.
Because we get it.
We get it. We are travelers.
We are travelers.
We are travelers too.
Welcome to season 106. It's really exciting. And 106 seasons means we've been in business for 106 years. Let's see if I can get off of the screen. I've had trouble in our little practice run getting back to my presentation, so hopefully my presentation cooperates. Don't want to play it again. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. Go back to my PowerPoint. So yes, we've been in business for 106 years. While I'm trying to get my PowerPoint back up here. And
It's all good, Paul.
okay.
Sometimes it takes a minute.
All right. No, forward. Okay, So are you selling groups currently? I wish I could see a show of hands right now of how many of you are already selling groups and how many of you are looking to get into group travel. Because it's a great question. I think it helps address the audience, but I think all of you will find this helpful. Here's some reasons I've heard in the past why travel advisors do not sell groups. Because booking groups can be confusing, and that's true. If you've never done it before, it's definitely different than just a retail booking. Some are not sure how to begin or where to find a group leader. That's absolutely a good, valid point. Groups will take up a lot of time. I think that's a common misconception. And if it doesn't work out, we'll lose our group deposit. So I'm here to tell you that at Collette, we make doing groups easy for you. Starting with the fact that we do not require a deposit. There's zero risk to you to try a group. So no group deposit and also no minimum group size. So if you go out and you are trying to get a group of 20, but you only end up with 10, we'll combine that 10 with another small group to make sure your group can go. So there's no risk in trying a group. Of course, we have a great business development team throughout Canada, and they are with you to help you from all the way from the very beginning to if you give them a call and say, I want to try doing a group, they're going to help you through every step of the way, all the way until your group returns ready to travel again. So here is a look at our sales team. We have Ron Lonsdales, who are our Vice President of Canada. Crystal is our Head of Sales. We have account managers that we just brought back on in the last few months. And then currently 4 BDMs throughout Canada, and working on hiring at least 1, but probably 2 more. Again, we've been in guided touring for over 105 years, and we were founded upon groups. Our CEO, who actually he just became a chairman of the board last week, but he's been our CEO, Dan Sullivan. I talk to him all the time about when he first started, he was all group business, all talking to advisors about doing groups, doing education groups, and all kinds of different groups. And we have a specialized groups department. A lot of times, or a lot of companies out there combine the retail and groups department, which there's nothing wrong with that, but having a specialized groups department that knows the details of your group is very helpful. We have less than 3-minute hold times, which is amazing in this current state of travel, and that's for our group and retail department. And of course, we handle everything. We can handle everything from your transfers, which we'll talk about later, your airfare, the whole package, and you're making commission on the entire package. So let's talk about how to build a group, because I think this is really the bread and butter and why most of you probably came. There's 3 golden rules to being successful in group travel. Number 1, start early. Number 2, find that group leader, the Pied Piper. And number 3, just spread the excitement. So starting early, what does early mean? Typically you can get a retail booking 6 months, 3 months prior to departure. But when we're talking about a group and trying to get 20, 30, 40 people all in the same departure, you really should start at least 10 months prior to departure, all the way up to, we have departures out through June of 2025. So some groups require, longer, but 10 to 18 months is typically the sweet spot. We put a nice little timeline together here of how that promotional period goes, 10 to 18 months at least. Meet with your BDM. We, once you have that group leader, we'll create flyers for you. We'll create a web page for you, which we'll go into. But, basically there is a timeline that we help walk you through with your business development manager for the group promotion period. And this is the key to being successful in groups. It's your Pied Piper. It's your group leader. Sometimes it's you, but let's talk about what it takes to be a successful group leader. Number 1 is a database, is a network. So it could either be a large network, We have some groups that, a church that has 10,000 people, obviously they're probably able to get a bus or two. But there's also, small groups, yoga studios, restaurants that I give a great example because it was one of my own, a restaurant here in my hometown that I love to go to, an Italian restaurant, and the owner was Italian. He had moved here about 10 years ago and was always so friendly and greeted everybody. Everybody knew him when they walked into his restaurant. And one day he was talking to me about going back to Italy. And I said, well, have you ever considered, bringing a group of people with you? So he tried it. He put some posters up, and, when people would walk into the restaurant, he would talk about going to Italy, and he ended up with a group of 15 people traveling to Italy and visiting Sicily and cooking pizza with him. And so, it doesn't have to be huge networks if they're loyal or if, they're someone that people want to travel with. The second thing that makes a great group leader is that they are interested in traveling. A lot of them love to travel. They're passionate about traveling. So it's easy for them to do the third thing, which is be a walking billboard, to invite everyone they talk to send out emails to their network and really, promote the trip. Is what you need them to do. So like I said, it could be you. In the past, I have seen a lot of travel advisors who, want to try to do a group, but, they think just putting the flyer up in the office is going to get them the group, which it doesn't work. You really have to be someone promoting and inviting everyone you see to be successful. So let's just talk about a few different kinds of groups that love to travel. Fraternal organizations, sisterhoods, everything from Bible studies to book clubs, any kind of community that gets together frequently that has a true leader is a great group. Community college and alumni associations are always a great place, especially the lifelong learning aspect of it fits well with Collette. Not necessarily, your college student community colleges, but it's more the advanced education that works well with the Collette tour at least. And then, church groups, religious organizations. We have chambers of commerces that love to do group travel. So hope this gets your brain thinking. I hope you get out a piece of paper and just think about different organizations you're connected to that could possibly be a group for you. And of course, like I said, your local BDM can also help you brainstorm that and go through your database. And if you really think about that, that restaurant or a local fitness studio that has a good, community base, different senior organizations, different communities that are tight-knit, the gated communities, or any place that has a really big database or a good community would be a great place to get a group. And why do leaders want to do group travel? Obviously, the easy one is to travel for free with their own earned tour conductor. But I think a lot of people, that's not what they end up traveling over and over again for. It's really the community, the fact that those people that they go travel with, they know them before they go, but they really know them after they travel together. And if they're, for say, a church leader or a leader at a university, it builds loyalty to them. They really get people connected to the community. It helps grow their network. A lot of times, people who travel on these trips with the community will invite other people, and therefore their network will grow with these tours. Every detail is taken care of, so it's not like them having to plan their vacation. The value of group travel is huge. As you all know, it costs a lot more to travel a trip for two and plan out hotels and get individual guides than doing a group guided tour. And then it's a great fundraising opportunity, great way to produce revenue for different organizations. And we can do this a couple different ways. We always get the question about fundraising. We can add additional funds on top of the price, or, I don't suggest that you take out a big chunk of your commission to pay them. Typically, work with your BDM to what makes sense, but adding $100 when people are getting to travel with this Pied Piper is typically not an issue. And then spreading the excitement. So we try to make this as easy as possible for you. And I'll go through some of our marketing materials. And we also have our local BDMs who can either do a virtual or in-person presentation of the trip for the group. So that's a great tool. So what are some of the tools we provide? Mailers, e-marketing or digital brochures. Our videos, as you saw in the beginning, we create some great videos. We have them for most tours. And our group webpage, which this is a sample of our group webpage. It'll have your contact, where it says request more info, your contact information would be up here. And you can choose to either have it where they have to call you in order to book, or they can fill out the form online and you'll get a copy of that form when they register for a group. And this will be your details from your trip. It'll have the Q&As and everything, so you can send them to this group web page to either register or just to get more information and contact you. It's a great tool. So what is the Collette difference? Why book Collette over other companies? One is our hometown pickup. I think this is a huge advantage for us. We will pick up a group within 100 kilometers of any major airport and bring them to the airport and back to a central location. For instance, if this is a university we're talking about, the bus will meet them at the university, take the group to the airport, and then at the end of the trip be there to pick them up and bring them home. On our retail bookings, we have sedan service where they're picking them up at their house. There are very certain few groups that if your group is coming from all over the country, we can provide the sedan service instead of the hometown pickup. But for most groups, this makes sense because most groups are coming from all the same local community. And our industry-leading travel protection plan. If you don't know about our travel protection plan, it is a cancel for any reason. So up until the day before departure. I know a lot of our salespeople have the joke about the bad hair day. The day before you leave, you have a bad hair day, you cancel, you get your full money back refund except for the cost of the travel protection plan. And our travel protection plan prices aren't based on age or pre-existing conditions. So it is a really, really top of the line, top of the industry product that our groups really love. And this is really the time that I talk about our pandemic response, the fact that we gave back over $200 million in full money back refunds upon request. I mean, we didn't give vouchers or hold anybody's money or charge anybody cancellation penalties. We felt, and we still feel, and we've always treated customers this way, that if you haven't traveled, then you haven't earned our money, or we haven't earned your money if you haven't traveled. So you're going to get it back in the case that we have to cancel. 9/11, we had the same policies, and throughout the history of our 106 years. And I truly believe that this is the reason that Collette is still in business and doing so well and thriving these days, is because they always try to do right by you and by your travelers. So I think that's, we're doing fantastic for 2023. 2024 is looking like to be the best year in our company's history. And I think it's because during the hard times, we've treated our travel advisors and their travelers the right way. Oh, there it goes. I had a slide on it. So groups are a one-stop shop. So if you're getting individual retail bookings and getting a cruise to the Caribbean, a trip to Europe here and there. It's a lot of work. Groups are work. It is hard work, but I think if you had, 10 individual couples that you're putting together compared to one group of 20, you're going to find the group is a lot less work. You're just trying to collect payments all at the same time. You're really focused, and you only have to worry about this one event, and it's going to end up paying off tenfold in the long run. And the repeat business is huge. So being in the group business for so long, groups are ones that will come back year after year after year. Church groups, I see them going to Greece, to Israel, to different destinations every year, and other groups as well. I mean, that's just the group leader gets to love to travel, love to be with his group, and we'll produce groups every year for you. And lastly, of course, is the commission we talked about in the beginning. So this is a real example of a Travello agent in Toronto who has a group of 43 for April of next year on our Sunny Portugal tour, and they are currently making $40,000 commission. So these are real numbers. These are real things that you can do. We'd love to help you with. So, obviously it takes that key group leader, but we're here to help you to be successful. And as you mentioned in the beginning, that we have a special group offer. When you book 15 or more guests, the booking window is today through November 24th. That means you have to come to us and say, yes, we want to promote a group. We'll get you booking. Not that you need the 15 passengers between now and November 24th, but you just need to put in your group booking. And then the travel window is November of 24 through March of 25, which I told you this is kind of our sweet spot. It's more than 10 months prior to departure. And if you get those 15 or more before your departure date, we'll give you a $1,000 commission bonus in addition to the big commission you're already going to make there. So yeah, that is the base for groups, and I'd love to open it up for questions and hear what you guys have to.
Thanks so much, Paul. That was an amazing presentation. I really appreciated all the information, and I'm sure that our travel agents did as well. So many informative points and things that you brought up. I had some travel agents sharing in the Q&A just saying thanks so much, and they love booking groups, and yeah, and then a few questions. So the first question we have comes from Joanne, and she says, interesting, thanks, Paul. And she wants to know, what are your top 3 destinations at Collette? I think is that what you're asking, Joanne? Do you want to, if you want to elaborate, let us know in the comments.
Sure. Well, I'll just go into a few of our very popular destinations right now.
Thank you.
Europe is always top, so you have your eyes. Iceland, Italy, and Ireland are always going to be top sellers for us. Since COVID, we have seen this influx of people wanting longer trips, more expensive trips. It's kind of like the bottled up demand we're seeing. So Africa safaris have been really big, and some of our exotics. Costa Rica is always a very popular destination with groups. So those are some of the ones I would say are highlights right now.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then Joanne is adding forward bookings for 2024. Do you have any information on that?
So yes, I think the ones I mentioned are really the ones that are biggest for 2024 right now.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you for that. The next question I have comes from Claire, and she's just asking if you can put your slide back to the page where they can all see the BDM. That's
Sure.
what they were interested in looking at again. And then thank you. And then while you're looking for that, I will move to the next question, which I have is coming from Holly Slater. And Holly is asking, hi, for the group promo, I missed it. Do all names and deposits need to be booked by November 24th or just confirm a group?
Yes, Holly, all you need to do is confirm your group by November 24th, because you'll be, more than a year out, and then you have another, six months to put your group together. And as long as you get 15, you'll get that additional $1,000 bonus.
Excellent. So awesome. Okay, thank you. The next question I have comes from Rosalie, and she's asking, does the air have to be booked with Collette in order to get the airport transfer?
Hi, Rosalie. Yes, the airport transfers are included when you book your air through Collette.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Paul. The next question I have comes from Carlene, and she is asking, hi, how many do I need to book to get a free tour conductor?
Sure, and that varies. So your BDM will work with you to figure out the best ratio of tour conductor to commission, and it also depends on what consortia or host you're with. I think a typical group. See, I hate to quote this because I'll just say it varies, and contact your BDM to work that out with you. I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay, thank you. That gives some clarification. We appreciate that. We have a question as well coming from Gwen, and she's asking, do you do groups for older people with mobility issues? Can you accommodate that at all?
Sure. So we have different activity levels on all of our programs, 1 to 4, 1 being it's a very slow pace, you kind of frequent rest areas, and it is good for people with mobility issues. Now, if they are, need accessibility or wheelchairs, we don't have that kind of accessibility, but if it's just that they are slower, they can't move as fast, they may need a cane or a walker, then yes, we can do activity level 1 for them.
Okay, great. Thank you, Paul. Nona has a question. She is asking, are your 2025 bookings able to, are they up and are consultants able to view them?
Yes, Nona. So I would say 95% of our 2024-2025, which runs from June 2024 to June 2025, are now up. So that is season 106 when we launched that a few weeks ago. Those went online. So yes, you can see through June 2025 now.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Our next question we have comes from Lisa, and she is saying, let's say our group flops a bit. You said you would simply combine the group with another small group. At what point do we risk the group being canceled?
Okay, I think what you're asking is, do we ever cancel groups? I'm guessing that's what it is.
Yeah, I
We
think
do
that's.
Yeah, we do everything within our ability not to cancel groups. I mean, we have cut back dates a little earlier. That way we can open it up to retail bookings in the same group. So it's very rare that we cancel a group.
Okay, thank you. And I know you've already mentioned this, but just for clarification here, how is there a minimum number that you need for a group?
Correct. There's no minimum number. So if you go out and try to put a full bus together, but only end up with 5 or 6 people, we'll keep those 6 people and sell in to another date to put more people on that same departure so they can still go.
Awesome. Great. Okay, I have another question here from Carlene, and she says, do you have different levels of accommodation, for example, moderate or budget versus luxury?
Sure. We don't have different levels. No, what we like to say is we're basically a 4-star plus product. You're getting the value of a 5-star tour, a luxury tour, but you're only paying the moderate prices.
Okay, great. Thanks for answering that. I have one more question here from Nona, and she's asking, what is the single supplement charge? And is there ever a time when that charge can be waived as a promo or something like that?
Yes, so Nona, that is a great question. It does vary greatly from tour to tour. I was actually just looking at one of our Africa safari tours, the cost for the I think it's an 18-day safari was around $8,200, and the single supplement was only an additional $600. So you have one of those that the single supplement is very minimal, and then other tours, you know, if the single accommodations are just higher charge, so they will be more. And we currently don't have any promotions out there for single, but 20% of our Canadian guests are singles, so we are working on different promotions for that. We just don't have any currently in the market.
Okay, thank you for that. And Carlene is also asking for a clarification on commissions for flights.
Commission for flights, I'd like to refer that to your BDM as well. I think it varies, again, based on if you're with a host agency, a consortia. So yeah, that we do pay commission on flights, but I think it varies a little bit. And,
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
oh, that's good.
Okay, great. And Carlene was adding to that. Can they book business class or first class flights as well?
Absolutely. So yes, we can handle that in our group bookings as well.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I loved hearing all the information about the hometown pickup. That is such an amazing perk of that Collette offers. So thank you again for sharing with us about that feature. And lastly, just to reiterate again, when are the deposits due, Paul, for group bookings?
So you're saying so when somebody wants to put a deposit for the group booking, it varies
Yeah,
by tour.
exactly.
Yeah, it varies by tour. So
Okay.
yeah.
So again, important to just keep in communication with your BDM.
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Well, it looks like that is all the questions that we have for today. Is there anything else that you wanted to share, Paul, before we close out today's webinar?
No, thank you so much for joining us. I know your BDMs are out there working hard and looking forward to communicating with you. Remember, we only have 3-minute hold times, so if you can't get a hold of your BDM, call our group booking support that's on the screen, or if it's a retail booking, that number, you should be able to get a hold of someone pretty quickly. And we're happy to help and ready to help on any groups you have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here. I also want to say to all our travel agent readers and participants that are online with us today, thank you so much for being here as well. As you know, here at Travel Week, we are dedicated to providing you with the very best information so you can craft amazing holidays for your clients, including those amazing group bookings with Collette. If you have any other questions that you come up for you, please feel free to email me, or as Paul was saying, for Collette specifically, your BDM. We have some thanks coming in from Joanne and Sarah, and they're all saying what a great presentation today, Paul. Thank you again so much for being here. Travel agents, for those of you who have stayed through to this part of the webinar, you are now eligible to win today's prize, which is a $500 Collette travel voucher. Yay, congratulations there. We will be sending out an email with the prize winner announcement in the next 24 hours-ish. So look out for that one. And I think that is all for today. So thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care for now. You too. Bye-bye.